Welcome back to the council. Alright, so last time we finished episode 1, and today we're greeted with all sorts of wonderful faces. Turns out I was wrong at the end of the last part. I thought, didn't I buy the whole thing? No, turns out episode 1 I think was free. So I guess that's like the demo. I guess I just downloaded that one when I did the tryout 3 years ago and did not actually buy the full council. So, now I have bought the full council. And we're going into chapter 2, starting with, Where is my mother? And we're going to do that, but there's just one thing I want to point out. It's that in the last chapter, the penultimate chapter is called Mind Jail. And I can't wait to see what Mind Jail is. But we have a long ways to go before we get there. We have to start off with, Where is my mother?
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
I do apologize for being late. I was obliged to clear up some urgent business.
Is that Morty? I guess that was Morty. Alright, my next reading, what we want. Thoughts on art for erudition, politics, psychology, discourse on the method. We love rigorous logic. And etiquette. And a surprisingly epistolary novel ending with the suicide of its hero. Where, wasn't this the one that we took from The Servant? By telling the servant, that's my book. That's mine? You should give it to me because it's my book. I feel like we're obligated to use this just because of how we got it. I feel that way anyway, so we're reading that now. Oh wait, hold, I still had one more. I did not notice there was still one more. Oh well. Maybe we can go to the inventory screen and equip it then. I don't know if we can. We will see.
Mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. Unfortunately, I am now confronted with another problem, which...
Lord Mortimer. All right. He has an immunity to conviction. Lord William Alexander Mortimer, Marquis of Westfordshire and Peer of Great Britain, is an extremely rich English aristocrat, as discreet as he is influential. An investor of talent, Mortimer's success in business was masterful. He finished by withdrawing from the public arena and isolating himself more and more often on his private island. A major patron of the arts, he finances a large number of artists in diverse fields and takes great pleasure in bringing together unexpected personalities. He does the same with the greats of the world, men of influence, men of state at the time. He regularly organizes social gatherings on his private island off the coast of England, and he might be a vampire. Can't forget about that part. Let's see, I don't know if we can actually... click on... Oh, no, okay, here we go. Can I click on it from here? Because I think it did say I still had one I could equip. No, it does not seem like I can do it from here, unfortunately. I got 8 coins.
Would rather have done without. You see, last night, Miss Adams also went missing.
Let him speak. Oh, can I... questioning locked. Let him speak.
I have had my people searching for her all over the island. Alas, to no avail. It so happens that both her mental and her physical health are extremely fragile. I'm worried that the same thing happened to her as to your mother. Also, I would appreciate it very much if you could tell me what you were doing on the floor in her room in the early hours
It's
of
quite
the morning.
normal. I can explain everything.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. You see, Sir Gregory is about to arrive, and he's taken Elizabeth's disappearance very, very seriously. Please reassure him so that we can talk about your mother.
William, I would like to see you a moment before we begin. In private.
Let's step outside a moment. Louis, this will only take a few moments.
Why did he put the letter down on the desk and then leave us alone with it? Obviously, we're going to read it. I love that our face hasn't healed. I hope it stays like that for the rest of the game. Well, of course we're going to search the study.
All right, let's take this chance to look around.
Well, are we in a video game or not? Okay, guess Bonaparte in Hillsborough. Bonaparte says, "What were you doing yesterday evening?" He replied, "After talking with Lord Mortimer, spent the evening playing cards with Greg, Washington, and Piaggi. Greg won. Did he notice anything strange?" He said, "At daybreak, he saw someone on the balcony, couldn't see who it was." The Duchess said, "Spent the evening on Monsieur de Richet's company, admired the works exhibited in the Manor Gallery. Then we ran to Miss Adams. Did you notice anything strange throughout the evening?" No. I gotta come out of the trial innocent.
Please, sit back down, Louis.
This sort of behavior is not working in your favor, young man.
Gregory, Louis told me we needn't be concerned.
Of course. Monsieur de Richet, the situation seems to escape your grasp, so I won't beat about the bush. Did you kill Elizabeth Adams?
Oh, confrontation start. No?
What are you talking about? I only helped her. We talked and she wanted to leave. I imagine that's what she did, right?
We have found no trace of her leaving, monsieur. So allow me to have my doubts.
Nor have we found any reason to believe that Louis is lying.
All right, that succeeded.
We must remain calm, Gregory. We have found no evidence that would suggest that Elizabeth has been murdered. For the time being, she has only disappeared. Let's stick to the facts, if you please.
Well, where is she then?
Did she go home? How would I know? Maybe at her sister's? What does this matter to you? In fact, I don't know. Do I want to bother with this? I know why it matters. She's a guest who has vanished. I don't see why using points on this. Maybe at her sister's.
I'm not absolutely sure, but I'd wager she's gone to visit her sister.
I beg your pardon?
Good Lord! You mean Abigail?
Yes, they've been keeping in touch by mail. Elizabeth always dreamt of meeting her. I wouldn't be surprised if she went to see her.
Damnation!
Succeeded.
This is a fiasco. Sir, you don't seem to realize just how serious this is.
Let's try and remain calm, Gregory. In any case, it would be far better if Elizabeth really has left the island, as Louis says. Why do you think she wanted to leave?
She, apparently was been tortured by my mom. It's a weird story, but that seems to be what's happening.
She was terrorized by my mother's presence here. Just the thought of coming face to face with her was unbearable.
Did she tell you why?
Yes, she brought the subject up.
I'm sorry, Louis. It couldn't have been easy to hear.
For your sake, I sincerely hope that she got there safely.
Yay, we succeeded. I unlocked intuitive.
My words seemed a little abrupt. I dare not think what would happen if Elizabeth came across your mother on the island.
I'm a lawyer.
Your generosity may well cost you dearly.
I understand, my lord. I certainly regret it.
Yay, we were cleared of murder.
This. So come along, Monsieur Peru. We are leaving.
Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
She does it often. Oh, that mother of mine.
Wasn't that worried. In the past, my mother has taken a few liberties during her missions, including disappearing for several days on end.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me.
My mother was selling cannons? What?
Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play, and I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
A buyer? Sure, let's say that.
She was looking for someone.
What do you mean?
In Paris, we were working on a smuggling case to do with occult objects. We had just arrested a dealer who intended to go to you to meet a buyer. My mother was here to find out to whom he intended to sell his stolen treasure.
Oh. What was the name of your dealer?
This was the guy from the beginning. It might have been Borchert.
The dealer was called von Burchard. As for the buyer, he was unknown to us.
No, I don't know anything about that. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Wary? Discovered? Maybe she's lost her mind. Let's say she's discovered something.
Maybe she found something out.
What do you mean?
Maybe there's a vampire on the island.
For investigating. If she had picked up a lead, nothing would have stopped her.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
Doing crosswords, things like that. What you talk about together? Anything hot?
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Okay, let's talk about, we could talk about, my erudition is level 1, talk about the cotton gin. or the treaty. I guess we could go either way. Let's talk about the cotton gin, why not?
Ah, yes. His famous cotton gin. It was supposed to revolutionize cotton production in the United States.
It will revolutionize the world, Louis. The potential of this invention is much greater. Tomorrow, all industries will be switching to simple but large-scale production. Of that, I'm sure.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them.
Lopping, you know.
That the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
We can talk about the famous papal bull of Pope Gregory VIII because of erudition.
Mother lulled my childhood with tales of the Crusades. How Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus had to battle it out to achieve their ends. And how Guy de Lusignan, having broken his word, launched the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Oh, I see Sarah's lessons have inspired new enthusiasts. Good on you, because not everyone can claim they know as much at your age. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on. That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening.
Yeah, we did have a vision of Mom shooting, we thought Emily,
Why would she do
but turns out it was the twin sister. But that actually happened.
The childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation, until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to explore Mom's private box room, where she liked to do her thinking.
The room was just opposite Mortimer's study.
Well, I only got to read one note on the desk. I don't know if that was because I was taking my time to read it out loud. Was time still passing while I was doing that? Go to tower room. But on the plus side, of course, we did convince everyone that we did not kill Elizabeth.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
Speaking of which, episode 1 ended with us passing out because of Elizabeth's combination of alcohol and laudanum, and she was brandishing a knife, and I guess nothing happened. Let's see, occultism or erudition. Both. Oh, actually, this one's 0. Cost reduced by 3.
A fierce opponent of the first Christians, St. Paul is suddenly struck by the call of Jesus Christ and converts. It's the best-known conversion in Christian history, which teaches us that even enemies of Christ can be saved, and even become his greatest apostles after finding faith. From what I can recall, the account of his conversion could be found in the epistles to the Galatians, the Philippians, the Corinthians, and the Acts of the Apostles. What is this disc?
I don't know. I can observe. I can use 1 point to observe it with science.
Oh, that reminds me of the ones my mother collects. It's magnetic.
Mother. Well, yeah, we're going to take the magnetic disc. Lodestone. It's a round magnet. All right. Maybe we need to tie it to a piece of string and lower it down somewhere to pick up a key?
Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortar world must ripen in our rays.
He's quoting Dante.
There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is on to us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
We recognize her love of riddles. It's not something we ever enjoyed. Trust my faith in man with sword. Always constantly getting these riddles from Mom, not talking straight to us.
The door appears to be locked on the other side.
Open. Yeah, there we go.
I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key.
Disc.
We'll see if it works.
Disc action. Yeah, we did use it to get a key. We didn't need a string, but...
It's open. Chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Use left key, use right key. Pick both locks. I need 7 points for that. I like the idea of him double-handing lockpicks. Lockpicks akimbo. Let's try the left key. No, I cannot. I do not have any keys. Absorb.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel. The New Testament.
Yeah, let's just read the Bible.
But though we, or an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. It's St. John, painted by Guido Reni.
Hey, what do I know about this apostle?
St. John is known as the youngest of Christ's apostles. Well, we often give credit to St. John for having written about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible.
All right. What was that? Sophistria? skill point in diversion. It's on the art of sophism.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Observe.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the apostles by Guido Reni.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it. Amber crystals.
Got 2 out of 4. Need to get 2 more to get another heart container. Effort container, I'm sorry.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni.
Inspect.
St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. I don't know, what does that mean?
All right, Paul's the guy with the sword. He's not an evangelist.
Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle.
Let's think hard about this secret code with my subterfuges.
So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
I cannot sum up the information. I can do it now.
So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
That just seemed like the same thing. All right. Well, we know we want Paul. We know we want the number 11, a story about pilgrims. Epistles of Paul. But who is he talking to? Well, that says 11:11.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Oh, wait, a note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here.
Mother.
What does it say? Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the 2 groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply, hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
The youngest. All right. The man with the sword, we already know about that. When we found the verse. We found the note. You know where the package is. Hide it. Well, no one will find it. Hidden behind the youngest apostle. And didn't they say there was something that someone had been touching lately?
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
I guess we're not going to touch it. But we got portraits of apostles. Someone touched it recently. I guess we don't care about that. Scrutinize the frame.
The
painting looks like it's been taken down recently. What was it my mother said? That she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle. Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
He doesn't have a beard. He's never had a beard.
St. John is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle. Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother. Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer.
Do we not really need to use a point on that? No, choice was already made. Let's think about this code. Remember the aforementioned book, think about figures. Alright, well. Oh, is it not going to say it here? Alright, I guess...
On the second day...
It's not going to put that down in our notes.
...of the young apostle, they shall add 1 companion...
Right, 1 from left...
3 to their right.
And then 3 right.
What does it mean?
Well, this box over here does have left and right keys, right?
A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
But we don't have keys. Though, I mean, maybe we could pick locks. Was there anything else we needed to look at? I think we probably got all the points of interest in this room. No, actually, there's something here. A collector coin. Sure. We love collecting coins, don't we? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Alright, well. I guess we could use some royal jelly. So I guess either we need to think about things or we can go look for another passage. Do we have a 1-3 somewhere? Not seeing a 1-3 so far. What is this book?
A volume of the Gutenberg Bible.
The Bible is famous. I know that because I have erudition level 1.
This volume dates from the first edition of Gutenberg. It's the first book that was ever printed. The pages are covered in annotations in Latin, French, and Hebrew. Someone spent years studying this Bible.
A Gutenberg Bible.
This book is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord.
Alright. Let's analyze. Let's use a point to analyze the painting. What do I know about this? No, I already used that one. I already did this one. Think about code. Okay, here's more points we can use. Think about figures. Think about aforementioned. Well, the figures was 1 from left, 3 from right. What about aforementioned book?
Second day, the pilgrims listened to the prophecy of the young apostle. The prophecy of the young apostle. That was John. And the prophecy mentioned is most likely the book of Revelations according to St. John.
All right. Well, I did take a look in Revelations. I did not see a 1-3. Maybe it's something else. Let's think about them figures.
They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies?
I feel like I did not need to spend those points. The other one was more useful, as he's saying. It's probably Revelations. It says, add 1 to the left and 3 to the right. Well, if it's somewhere in Revelations.
Saying with a loud voice, "Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing."
I like how it backs us out. Just to make it more annoying to do this.
And a voice came out of the throne, saying, "Praise our God, all ye his servants, and ye that fear him, both small and great."
I mean, I know you're not supposed to brute force it.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine."
Well, 1-3 was mentioned there, but Louis did not say anything. No.
And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. Hey, a new note. It's been
Okay.
carefully in the corner of this page. The writing, it's not my mother's.
No?
S.
Not Mother?
Found the book in your effects. I've concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Hears the angel? What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note.
All right, let me just... So the right one was chapter 12, verse 14. I don't know what the clue was to that. I mean, yes, we do know that we did establish it was in Revelation. But I'm not sure what clue we got about chapter 12, verse 14. Oh, previous one was verse 11:11. So add 1 to the left and 3 to the right, so it's 12:14. Okay, that's what the clue is.
I guess I'll just come back later.
All right, so now we have to hear the reply like he who hears the angel. Found the book in your effects, concealed it, I assure you. All right, so we're looking for a book. Okay, someone hearing an angel.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
Let's examine the frame.
This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4.
I can read the number 4. 2 representations of the same saint.
St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
How come? Examine painting.
Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
All right, so the only thing we got was a 4.
Been here for a long time.
He's just saying the same thing again.
Dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4.
All right, so the one of Paul has a 4 in it. I don't suppose anyone else has numbers. Look at that frame.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
What does that mean? All right, I do not have any more royal jelly. Think about the town quoted. Think about group of pilgrims. All right, so the town.
What else behind this painting? It says, half of each group.
Corinth.
The first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Half of each group will join the city of Corinth. All right, got anything about Corinthians in here?
For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. For we are unto God a sweet savor of Christ, in them that are saved, and in them that perish.
All right, now it seems like these two are the only place we're seeing Corinthians mentioned.
Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look, here's a message.
A message.
It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
6? Yes, 6 pilgrims. Just note that. So watch out for the Prussian. Follow the first group to Mark. I like the idea that maybe Mortimer someday will say, you know, it's been a while since I've read my Gutenberg Bible. I should do that. What? What is this? Who has been using my Bible as a mailbox? That is not what this is for. It's not what he sounds like. I don't know why I'm saying it's talking like that.
And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread, and blessed it, and broke it, and gave it to them, and said, take, eat, this is my body. And behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet. Then came together unto him the Pharisees, and certain of the scribes, which came from Jerusalem.
Well, that's all of the Mark stuff. Unless we are looking for a painting of Mark. I was just looking for his Bible pages.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
Let's look at the frame.
There's nothing worth noticing here.
What an unremarkable frame. No secret messages. What a waste of space. Don't you know these giant portraits of apostles have to have secret numbers? Okay, let's just look at everything around it.
Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
I know what that means. I cannot ask why that means. I can use a point to ask... Oh, no, actually this is 0 because its cost reduced by 3. Why in Hebrew?
Choosing the Hebrew alphabet is no coincidence. It's got to be a reference to the Bible.
Brilliant. Brilliant deduction. Something in this room is a reference to the Bible.
There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all.
All right, 8 fingies. So there were 6 pilgrims going to Mark. We found a sentence in Hebrew, 8 lines made by a finger. Candlestick?
Nothing of value here.
What a worthless candlestick. Behind the painting?
It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
Alright, so I guess we're saying no, nothing's there. So the only thing we don't know
On the chest of drawers under
is this sentence in Hebrew.
Sentence in Hebrew.
And we do not know what it means. Alright, well, it did say, follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. Was the answer the Hebrew sentence? I mean, I assume that the answer is just going to tell us that we need to read part of the Bible. The Bible's famous. Let's see. I mean, I assume that we're just looking at the gospel. But no, not that. Nope. Clicking on the wrong thing. I assume that we're looking at Mark over here. But, I read all of his verses. It didn't seem like we were finding anything.
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven like a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew, and chief of the priests which did so. And he became very hungry, and would have eaten, but while they were
I got a trait.
he fell into a trance.
Hey. Oh, there we go.
There's a note here.
Because I'm reading so much Bible.
Message from Mother in reply to E. We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare?
I don't know, but it sounds metal as fuck.
What does she mean by that?
It's probably 100% literal.
Clearly, she must be trying to do something useful, but what? The nightmare. Does that remind me of anything?
It's an object, or it's a place, or it's a concept.
Well, if it's a concept, I've got no idea what it is. I need to figure out what this means.
Let's read the Bible. It'll give us some information.
I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
I don't know if it's possible for us not to look suspicious. All right, the Bible room is over. Wow, I did not expect there to be so much Bible. When we started doing this Bible puzzle, I did not expect this to go on for so long. I got a Bible thing? Not sure what the Bible thing was we got. It said we got something. A Bible note. A note from Mother found in the Gutenberg Bible. Need leave urgently. Must go beyond the nightmare. Oh, yeah, that's right. At the very beginning of the game, Piaggi gave us this letter for Mom. The letter from my mother we found on the pier. All right, Bible room completed. Okay, episode 2. Where is my mother? Where is she? So I succeeded at clearing my name in the eyes of the guests. We searched Lord Mortimer's study. I discovered my mother's message, but I failed in that I did not understand my mother's message. And I could have found the conversation between my mother and her partner. We found a whole bunch of conversation. I guess there was something else we could have found. No alternate paths. But that is, hey, where's my mother? I mean, that's basically the entire game. The entire game is Where is my mother, the game. Okay. So, I guess that's the beginning of episode 2, Where's My Mom? And, I feel like episode 2 is going to be kind of a lot shorter, maybe, than episode 1, because I think episode 2 said it only had 3 chapters in it, while episode 1 had 5, and this was not, like, a really long chapter, just the Bible room felt quite long. But, I guess we'll say goodnight for right now to the council, as, we're now from the Bible room. We are heading on to dinner or some meal of some kind with the other guests. Hopefully, Lord Mortimer has unlocked the box. Actually, no. This is the box room, right? She said, like, okay. When they were saying a box room, I imagine like a storage closet. I guess this is actually the room he was talking about. I guess all the rooms in this house are just extremely fancy. But, yeah, I was thinking like some sort of small storage closet that you store boxes in. No, this is probably the room they were talking about. Well, we didn't understand Mom's message, so hopefully that won't come back to bite us later. But as we continue on with the council, where is my mother? Where is she? She apparently shot Emma and then ran off. I don't know, things are not looking too good for Mom. Also, Elizabeth's gone. That's true. Elizabeth did say she was going to leave, but now she has made good on it, and she is gone. Or is she? Maybe she's still on the island and is hunting down Mom. The most dangerous game. We'll see in the council.